Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we have a very focused mission. We're digging into this online pet tag shop called Leashtags.
hmm
And the question is pretty simple. Is this a legit store where you can get a cool novelty tag for your pet? Or is it more of a risky gamble?
And right away, the source material we looked at throws up a really interesting contradiction.
It really does, because you land on the site and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a clean, high-end Shopify design, a full catalog, all the checkout buttons work.
SSL security, privacy policy pages, the works.
Yeah.
It looks, completely professional on the surface.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Because that level of polish, that, almost perfect professionalism, is exactly what our sources flag as a potential warning sign.
A warning sign. That feels a bit counterintuitive. Isn't a professional look what every new business is aiming for?
They are, but sometimes it can be a bit too perfect. It can be a tactic to build trust really fast and maybe hide some deeper issues. And that brings us to the first major finding.
The eerie silence.
The eerie silence. Outside their own website, their own domain, they just don't exist.
Right. So even a brand new, totally legitimate store, you'd expect to see some kind of digital trail, right? Maybe a complaint on Twitter or someone posting a photo on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But for leash tags, we found, well, basically nothing. Zero independent feedback. No Trustpilot reviews. No Reddit threads asking, hey, has anyone bought from here?
And on their own site, it's all just slick product mock-ups and stock photos. There are no, blurry but happy photos of someone's actual dog wearing one of the tags.
Precisely. And scam guides for Shopify stores point to this again and again. Real stores, especially small ones, they're kind of messy. They have some raw customer feedback, good and bad. The fact that there's this unnatural absence of any kind of third-party chatter is what signals danger.
So the combination of only on-site testimonials, which they control, and no outside proof, that's the red flag.
It's a huge one. It suggests the store could just be a shell designed to collect payments.
Okay, so the social proof is a blank page. But this is where it gets really concerning for me. Let's talk about the business details themselves, the contact us and about pages.
Yeah, this is the second pillar of concern, the vagueness. For a business that says it's shipping physical, custom products all over the world, the contact information and the address they provide are incredibly vague. And this matters a lot more than people might think.
How so? What's the real risk there?
Well, it's not just about customer service. If you only have a generic email and no verifiable address, it often means there's no real business for a bank to trace a transaction to.
Oh, right. For a chargeback.
Exactly. If your tag never arrives and you try to dispute the charge, your bank has a much harder time reclaiming your money because there's no legitimate entity to go after. It's a classic tactic.
So to sum it up, we've got a store that looks flawless, asks for your money, but has zero evidence of real customers and no real business accountability.
That's the picture.
Yeah.
It's highly suspect. And the advice from the source material is pretty practical.
Okay, what's the verdict?
The verdict is that buying from leash tags is a calculated gamble. The strongest advice is just to skip it entirely.
But if you're really tempted...
If you're absolutely tempted by one of the designs, the recommendation is to order just one tag, a single item.
And use a payment method with buyer protection.
Absolutely. Use a credit card, not a debit card, something you can dispute. And then you wait. You wait for that one tag to actually show up in your mailbox before you even think about trusting them with a larger order.
So the big lesson here for you, for anyone shopping online, is that a polished, clean website doesn't automatically mean a business is credible.
Yeah. We have to almost train ourselves to look for the messiness, the scattered customer photos, the occasional complaint, the things that prove a real business is operating.
It's a total paradigm shift.
It is. And it leaves us with a pretty important question to think about. How often do we let a clean user interface and a smooth checkout process override our basic skepticism? The key takeaway here is learning to trust the digital noise. Because if an online store is perfectly silent, perfectly polished, and leaves no genuine footprint of real customers, that, paradoxically, is the loudest warning sign of all.